We offer our most respectful obeisances in all the life of the Lord, just like the giant trees, they are full of and they are full of compassion for the fallen conditioned soul.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavallabha Girivanadhari Gopi Janavallabha Girivanadhari Yasoda Nandana Vrajagana Ranjana Yasoda Nandana Vrajagana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavallabha Girivanadhari Yasodanandana Vrajagana Ranjana Nandana Vrajagana Ranjana Yasodanandana Vrajagana Ranjana Nandana Vrajagana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Madhava Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Bhagavacharya Satarya Satashishi Mad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki ISKCON Founder Srila Prabhupada Ki Anantakota Vaishnavinda Ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Prem Sikoshi Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Shri Radha Krishna Go Gopinath Shamakun Radhakun Giri Govardhan Ki Vrindavan Dham Ki Mayapur Dham Ki Navadvip Dham Ki Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Ganga Mai, Ganga Devi Ki, Yamuna Devi Ki, Bhakta Devi Ki, Tulsi Devi Ki, Shishi Radha Golokananda Ki, Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki, Gaura Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhaktarinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhaktarinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhaktarinda. So we're continuing our reading of the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Anchalita chapter 1, and text 192. I think before we got halfway through that purport, that's where it was marked on the book. So Anchalita, there's not going to be a whole lot of purports in this section. But the ones that are full of nectar that we do have. So the title of this chapter is what Rupa Goswami's second meeting with the Lord. So Prabhupada's purport, I'll read the verse. The river Ganges flowing in the heavenly planets is full of golden lotus flowers. And we, the residents of those planets, eat the stems of the flowers. Thus, we are very beautiful, more so than the inhabitants of any other planet. This is due to the law of cause and effect. For if one eats food in the mode of goodness, the mode of goodness increases the beauty of the body. Especially if you don't have to deal with old age, you know. So, beginning the purport, such leaders have no chance to purify their eating. Politicians meet together and exchange good wishes by drinking liquor, which is so polluted and sinful that naturally drunkards and meat eaters develop a degraded mentality in the mode of good ignorance. The processes of eating different modes The processes of eating in different modes are explained in the Bhagavad Gita, wherein it is stated that those who eat rice, wheat, vegetables, milk products, fruit, and sugar are situated in the elevated quality of goodness. Therefore, if we want a happy and tranquil political situation, we must select leaders who eat Krishna prasadam. Otherwise, the leaders will eat meat and drink wine, and thus they will be asamsrita, unreformed, and kriya hiniha, devoid of spiritual behavior. In other words, they will be malechas and yavanas, or men who are unclean in their habits. Through taxation, such men exploit the citizens as much as possible, and in this way they devour the citizens of the state instead of benefiting them. We therefore cannot expect a government to be efficient if it is headed by such unclean malechas and yavanas. So, Om Ganda Tamaranda Shagananjana Shilakya Chakshuromanitam Yanitai Mai Sri Guruve Namaha. I was reading Govinda Dasi's second book of her pastimes, Prabhupada pastimes. Her and Gaurasundaras spent a lot of time, this 67 through 69, with Prabhupada, living with him. I mean, Gaurasundaras, there was his personal servants. He gave massages. She did all the dictation and wrote the letters, And so Prabhupada just came back from India. He'd gone there because for, his health, to regain his health. So he comes back into San Francisco. He's there in San Francisco for a couple of weeks, and then he just Dayananda had gone to Los Angeles, so he goes up to Los Angeles. He's inviting them up. They have a storefront. They just started. When Prabhupada left San Francisco to India, the devotees just kind of dispersed. Some devotees went to San Francisco, some went to Santa Fe, some went back to New York, some just went who knows where, Actually, the temple president was Haridas, and he was an artist. And so he left, and then there was a discussion, who's going to be the temple president in San Francisco? He wanted to go and just paint. I'm just going to paint. I don't want to deal with management. And so there was like, okay, Hayagriva, you can be the temple president. And then Hayagriva said, well, no, I can't be the president because I got things I want to do. So it came process of elimination. Jayananda became the temple president at that time. So anyway, Prabhupada goes back. Then he goes to Los Angeles, but Govinda Dasi, she was sick, so she couldn't go right away. Gaurasundar went with her, and so she had about a week late. So she shows up, she gets there, and Jamuna's there, Jamuna's sister's there, and they've been cooking for Prabhupada, and so they tell her, this is his diet, steamed vegetables and boiled vegetables, no salt, no ghee, no rice, no, strict diet. And that wasn't the diet he was on when she was cooking for him in San Francisco. Because of his health, we got to take care of Prabhupada. They're thinking this way. So first day, she cooks what they tell her to cook, and she brings it to Prabhupada. And I guess they'd been serving it to him, a couple of days before that. But he got really angry at her, So there's no way you can continue eating this diet, I'm not gonna, this is like worse than death, And so I want my regular rice, dal, sabjis, chapatis. They no chapatis either. They cut out chapatis. She immediately, of course, she got the brunt of it. She didn't know, So she obviously made an adjustment. So we can see here Prabhupada's purport that this is the diet that he wanted, And so it's pretty nice. She's a really pretty nice book. A lot of really nice pastimes there. Okay, so 93. After 4 months of Chaturmasha, Shravana, Bhadra, Asvina, and Kartik, all the Vaishnavas of Bengal returned to their homes. but Srila Rupa Goswami remained in Jagannath Puri under the shelter of the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. One day when Rupa Goswami was writing his book, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu suddenly appeared. As soon as Haridas Thakur and Rupa Goswami saw the Lord coming, they both stood up and then fell down to offer him their respectful obeisances. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraced them both and then sat down. The Lord inquired, "What kind of book are you writing?" He held up a palm leaf that was a page of a manuscript, and when he saw the fine writing, his mind was very pleased. Thus being pleased, the Lord praised the writing by saying, "The handwriting of Rupa Goswami is just like a row of pearls." While reading the manuscript, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw a verse on that page, and as soon as he read it, he was overwhelmed by ecstatic love. I do not know how much nectar the two syllables Krishna have produced. When the holy name of Krishna is chanted, it appears to dance within the mouth. We then desire many, many mouths. When that name enters the holes of the ears, we desire many millions of ears. And when the holy name dances in the courtyard of the heart, it conquers the activities of the mind, and therefore all the senses become inert. Purport. This verse is included in the Vidagya Madhava 1.15, a seventh-act play written by Srila Rupa Goswami describing the pastimes of Krishna in Vrindavan. 100. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu chanted this verse, Haridas Thakur, upon hearing the vibration, became jubilant and began to dance while praising its meaning. One has to learn about the beauty and transcendental position of the holy name of the Lord by hearing the revealed scriptures from the mouths of devotees. Nowhere else can we hear of such sweetness of the Lord. Purport. It is said in the Padma Purana, Atashi Krishna Namadi Nabhaved Grayam Indriyahi. Chaitanya Charitamrita Manjalila 17:136. Chanting and hearing of the transcendental holy name of the Lord cannot be performed by ordinary senses. The transcendental vibration of the holy name is completely spiritual. Thus it is received from spiritual sources and must be chanted after having been heard from a spiritual master. One who hears the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra must receive it from the spiritual master by oral reception. Srila Sanatana Goswami has forbidden us to hear the holy name of Krishna chanted by non-Vaishnavas, such as professional actors and singers, for it will have no effect. It is like milk touched by the lips of a serpent, as stated in the Padma Purana. Vaishnava Muku Grinam Putam Hari Katam Ritam Sravanam Naiva Kartavyam Sarpo Chistam Yatapaya. As far as possible, therefore the devotees in Krishna consciousness movement gather to chant the holy name of Krishna in public so that both chanters and listeners may benefit. So this is, we have two things here. We have that getting the mantra from a authorized devotee, and then we have public chanting, that people just get it from people just out chanting. There's nam, you get them from initiation, and then you get nam from public kirtan. The one that public kirtan, the people get benefit from hearing it up to the point, if you're not envious at the time you hear the chanting, you will accept it more favorably. If you're like on the innocent, you're receptive, you have some kind of pleasant disposition, course, we're told that, that we should avoid the innocent, preach to the innocent, and make friends with the devotees. There's 3 types. So the innocent we avoid, but in Harinam Sankirtan, everybody. We don't try to preach to them. No, the envious. You don't preach to the envious. Yeah, you preach to the innocent. And then you make friends with the, but in Harinam, you don't, it's just distributed freely everywhere from the Lord Chaitanya. But it's given freely. There's no, like we said, that Prabhupada said, you don't have to change anything, just chant. But there is an expectation, even in this verse, that there's someone's going to come eventually, they're going to be affected by it if they're chanting. Like Lord Chaitanya says, you don't even need a spiritual master. They're very liberal in the beginning. But at one point, if the person takes up chanting, they're going to have a taste. And then they're going to want to accelerate the process. And by accelerating the process, then one has to accept a spiritual master. So the Acharyas tell us the Vaidhi platform begins at the point of following the rules and regulations. So at initiation, you agree to follow rules and regulations, chant a fixed number of rounds, and that's when the Vaidhi platform begins. Raganuga, who knows when each individual is different, when, if ever, a person will make that transition. So when the devotees from chanting, even a Malecha, Yavana, eventually they're expected to give up eating meat, follow the principles, give up drinking. Prabhupada talked about how abominable these things are here, especially in the leadership, and that's all our leadership from the town council all the way up to the top of they're all just Yavanas and Malechas. So it says, this congregational chanting, as Prabhupada ends here, is most beneficial. Okay, so text 102. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraced Haridas and Rupa Goswami and left for the seaside to perform his noontime duties. On the next day, after visiting the temple of Jagannath, as usual, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Ramananda Roy, and Swarup Damodar. They all went together to Srila Rupa Goswami, and on the way, the Lord greatly praised his qualities. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recited the 2 important verses, he felt great pleasure. Thus, as if he had 5 mouths, he began to praise his devotee. The 2 verses referred to are those beginning with Priya Soyam, number 79, and today, Tadvani 99, 106. Just to examine Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and Ramananda Roy, the Lord began to praise the transcendental qualities of Srila Rupa Goswami before them. Characteristically, the Supreme Personality of Godhead does not take seriously an offense committed by a pure devotee. The Lord accepts whatever small service a devotee renders as being such a great service that he is prepared to give even himself what to speak of other benedictions. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is known as Purusottama, the greatest of all persons, has a pure mind. He is so gentle that even if his servant is implicated in a great offense, he does not take it very seriously. Indeed, if the servant renders some small service, the Lord accepts it as being very great. Even if an envious person blasphemes the Lord never manifests anger against him. Such are his great qualities. Purport. This verse is from the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, 2.1.138 by Srila Rupa Goswami. There's a couple of pastimes where not necessarily offenses here we talk, or mistakes. They're not, it's the Lord's intention, and the devotee's intention in his heart. And even reciting the verses and stuff. When Ishwar Puri came to Navadvip, At one point, Lord Chaitanya invited him to his house for lunch, and they had a discussion, and Ishwara Puri heard how great a scholar Nimai was. And he had wrote a book, and he wanted him to review his book, and check for errors. Lord Chaitanya was reluctant at first, but he did, and then he pointed out two he thought were two minor discrepancies. But then he told Ishwara Puri, even for a devotee, even having these discrepancies is not a disqualification, because the Lord accepts the devotee's service. And he used the example, if one devotee offers his respects to Narayan and chants the mantra perfectly, and then another one chants the mantra imperfectly, but has some enthusiasm, the Lord is more pleased with the devotee who chants it imperfectly. And even in the South Indian tour, when he met that Brahmin, illiterate Brahmin, he couldn't read that well, and people kind of made a little bit of fun of him because he was illiterate. But because he had such devotion and about what Krishna was doing and serving, taking the position of serving Arjuna, he had some ecstasy. It caused him to have tears, and Lord Chaitanya saw this and understood that how great an exalted devotee he really was, that his so-called illiteracy wasn't a disqualification in any way. Okay, so 109. When Haridas Thakur and Rupa Goswami saw that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had come with his intimate devotees, they both immediately fell down like logs and offered prayers to their lotus feet. Since Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his personal devotees met Rupa Goswami and Haridas Thakur, the Lord then sat down in an elevated place with his devotees. Rupa Goswami and Haridas Thakur sat at the foot of the elevated place where Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was sitting. Although everyone asked them to sit on the same level as the Lord and his associates, they did not do so. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ordered Rupa Goswami to read the verse they had previously heard, Rupa Goswami, because of great shyness, did not read it, but instead remained silent. Then Swarup Damodar Goswami recited the verse, and when all the devotees heard it, their minds were struck with wonder. My dear friend, now I have met my very old and dear friend Krishna on this field of Kurukshetra. I am the same Radharani, and now we are meeting together. It is very pleasant, but I would still like to go to the bank of the Yamuna beneath the trees of the forest there. I wish to hear the vibration of his sweet flute playing the fifth note within that forest of Vrindavan. After hearing this verse, Ramananda Roy and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya said to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, without your special mercy, how could this Rupa Goswami have understood your mind? Srila Ramananda Roy said that previously Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had empowered his heart so that he could express elevated conclusive statements to which Lord Brahma had no access. Had you not previously bestowed your mercy upon him, they said, it would not have been possible for him to express your internal feelings. Purport. The devotees acknowledged Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's special mercy upon Srila Rupa Goswami in the following words. Sri Chaitanya Mano Bhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadanti Sva Padantikam. When will Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada, who has established within this material world the mission to fulfill the desire of Lord Chaitanya, give me shelter under his lotus feet? The special function of Srila Rupa Goswami is to establish the feelings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. These feelings are his desires, and that his special mercy be spread throughout the world in this Kali Yuga. And that's pretty nice that Prabhupada kind of expresses that. Pritivate Achayata Naragari Grama Sarvata Prachara Haibe Mora Nama. Chaitanya Bhagavat, Anchakanda, chapter 4, text 1:26. The desire of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is that all over the world, everyone in every village and every town know of him and his Sankirtan movement. These are the inner feelings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Srila Rupa Goswami committed to writing all these feelings of the Lord. Now again, by the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the same feelings are being spread all over the world by the servants of the Goswamis, and the devotees who are pure and simple will appreciate this attempt. As concluded by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, however, those who are on the level of hogs and dogs will never appreciate such a great attempt. Yet this does not matter to the preachers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's cult. For all over the world, they will continue to perform this responsible work, even though persons who are like cats and dogs will not appreciate them. Text 118. Then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "My dear Rupa Goswami, please recite that verse from your drama which, upon being heard, makes all people's unhappiness and lamentation go away." When the Lord persisted in asking again and again, Rupa Goswami recited that verse as follows. I do not know how much nectar the two syllables Krishna have produced. When the holy name of Krishna is chanted, it appears to dance within the mouth. When we then desire many, many mouths. When that name enters the holes of the ears, we desire many millions of ears. And when the holy name dances in the courtyard of the heart, it conquers the activities of the mind, and therefore all the senses become inert. I mean, devotional service begins when we have purified senses. When we purify our senses, that's when devotional service begins. We have, scientists, their knowledge, their senses, all their knowledge is acquired through their senses. It's all sense perception. Vaishnavas, our knowledge comes from our disciplic succession, all the acharyas, and pointed out here about Prabhupada, about the work of Rupa Goswami, and distributing that information about Lord Chaitanya and the mercy that he has brought to everybody in this world. Okay. 121. When all the devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, especially Sri Ramananda Roy, heard this verse, they were all filled with transcendental bliss and were struck with wonder. Everyone admitted that although they had heard many statements glorifying the holy name of the Lord, they had never heard such sweet descriptions as those of Rupa Goswami. Ramananda Roy inquired, "What kind of drama are you writing?" We can understand that it is a mine of conclusive statements. Swarup Damodar replied for Srila Rupa Goswami. He wanted to compose a drama about the pastimes of Lord Krishna. He planned to describe in one book both the pastimes of Vrindavan and those in Dwarka and Mathura. He began it in that way. But now, following the order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he has divided it into two and is writing two plays, one concerning the pastimes of Mathura and Dwarka, and the other concerning the pastimes of Vrindavan. I mean, obviously here he's writing these books, in the presence of Lord Chaitanya, and you can see they got to work immediately. Once Lord Chaitanya gave them instructions, this is what they wanted to do. When he met in Prayag for 2 months, Lord Chaitanya wanted them to do it. The same with Sanatana Goswami, to write this literature, and gave him specific things to write about. 126. The two plays are called Vidagdha Madhava and Lalita Madhava. Both of them wonderfully describe the ecstatic, emotional love of God. Purport. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur informs us in this connection that Srila Rupa Goswami finished the drama known as Vidagdha Madhava in the year Sakab 1454, AD 1532, and Lalita Mata in Sakab 1459, AD 1537. The discussion between Ramananda Roy and Rupa Goswami at Jagannath Puri took place at Sakaba, 1437 AD and 1515. So what are we talking about? Another 17 years to complete the book, this particular book. Work of art. 127. Ramananda Roy said, "Please recite the introductory verse of the Vidagdha Madhava so that I can hear it and examine it." A lot of pressure there. Thus Rupa Goswami began being ordered by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, recited the verse 1.1. May the pastimes of Sri Krishna reduce the miseries existing in the material world and nullify all unwanted desires. The pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are like sikharini, a blend of yogurt and sugar candy. They overpower the pride of even the nectar produced on the moon, for they distribute the sweet fragrance of the concentrated love affairs of Srimati Radharani and the gopis. Ramananda Roy said, "Now please recite the description of your glories of your worshipful deity." Rupa Goswami, however, hesitated due to embarrassment because of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was present. The Lord, however, encouraged Rupa Goswami, saying, "Why are you embarrassed? You should recite it so devotees can hear the good fruit of your writing." When Rupa Goswami thus recited the verse, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu disapproved of it because it described his personal glories. He expressed the opinion that it was an exaggerated explanation. We just read recently, Prabhupada was talking about how Rupa Goswami, one of his missions is to spread the glories of Lord Chaitanya in his writings. So here's the verse 132. May the Supreme Lord, who is known as the son of Srimati Sachi Devi, be transcendently situated in the innermost core of your heart, resplendent with the radiance of molten gold. He has descended in the age of Kali by his causeless mercy to bestow what no incarnation has ever offered before, the most elevated mellow of devotional service, the mellow of conjugal love. Purport. This verse, Vidagdha Madhava 1.2, also appears in the Adi Leela 1.4 and 3.4. In his commentary on the Vidagdha Madhava, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur remarks, Mahaprabhu Shrutim Vina Hari Leela Rasavandana Nupapatir Iti Bhava. Without the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, one cannot describe the pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, Srila Rupa Goswami said, Vo Yasmakam Hridaya Rupa Guhayam Sachinandano Hari Pakse Simhat Spruratu. May Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is exactly like a lion that kills all the elephants of desire, be awakened within the heart, within everyone's heart, for by his merciful blessings, one can understand the transcendental pastimes of Krishna. 133. All the devotees present so greatly appreciated this verse that they expressed their gratitude to Sri Rupa Goswami for his transcendental recitation. Ramananda Roy inquired, how have you introduced the assembly of the players? Rupa Goswami replied, the players assembled at a suitable time under the heading of Pravartaka. Purport. In a drama, All the actors are called pratra, or players. This is stated by Vishwanath Chakravarti in his Sahitya Darpana 6.283. Divya Marte Satad Rupo Mishram Ayantarastayo Suchayad Vastu Bijam Vimuktam Pratram Atapiva. The meaning of amukta is stated by Rupa Goswami in the Nataka Chandrika. Shruto Daro Nati Brute Swakaryam Pratiyukita Prastuta Sepi Chityoktya Yatad Amuktam Iritam. When Sri Ramananda Roy inquired about the arrangement for introducing the assembly of players in the drama, Rupa Goswami applied that when the players first enter the stage, in response to the time, the introduction is technically called pravartaka. For example, see verse 136 below. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says that the introduction, which is technically called amukta, may be of 5 different kinds according to Sahitya Darpana 6.288. Ugat yata kato gata prayogatishayastata pravartat kavalagite pancha prastavana bida. Introductions may be classified as follows. Ugatayaka, 1, 2, Katogata, 3, Pragogatisaya, 4, Pravartaka, and 5, Avalagita. These 5 kinds of introduction are called amukta. Thus, Srila Ramananda Roy asked which of the 5 introductions have been employed. And Srila Rupa Goswami replied that he had used the introduction called the Pravartaka. Text 135. When the entrance of the actors is set in motion by the arrival of a suitable time, the entrance is called Pravartaka. Purport, this verse is from Nataka Chandrika by Srila Rupa Goswami. Springtime has arrived, and the full moon of that season inspired the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is complete in everything, with new attraction to meet the beautiful Srimati Radharani at night to increase the beauty of their pastimes. Purport. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur interprets this verse, Vidagdha Madhava 1.10, in 2 ways. For Lord Krishna and for Srimati Radharani, when he interpreted for Krishna, the night is understood to have been a dark moon night. And when interpreted by Srimati Radharani, it is considered to have been a full moon night. It takes somebody like Bhaktivinoda to understand that, I guess. 137. Ramananda Roy said, please recite the Pravachana portion so that I may hear and examine it. Srila Rupa Goswami replied, I think that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's desire to hear it here is Parochana. Purport. The method of inducing the audience to become more and more eager to hear praising the time and place, the hero, and the audience is called Prarochana. This is the statement regarding Parochana in the Nataka Chandrika. Desakala katavastu sabhyadinam prasamasya Shrotinam unmukikara kahiteyam prarochana. Similarly, the Sahita Darpana 6.286 says, Tasha prarochana vihi tata prahasane mukhe anganyantro mukikara prasamstaha prarochana. Any literature presented in Sanskrit must follow rules and regulations mentioned in the authoritative reference books. The technical inquiries by Srila Ramananda Roy and the replies of Srila Rupa Goswami indicate that both of them were expert and fully conversant within the techniques of writing drama. Anybody got any comments or anything? We got about a minute left. 138. All the devotees now present are constantly thinking of the Supreme Lord and are therefore highly advanced. This work named Vidagda Madhava depicts the characteristics pastimes of Lord Krishna with decorations of poetic ornaments, and the inner grounds of the forest of Vrindavan provide a suitable platform for the dancing of Krishna and the gopis. Therefore, I think that the pious activities of persons like us who have tried to advance in devotional service have now attained maturity. This verse is from verse 8, first act of the Vidagda Madhava. Okay, we'll stop right there. 139. Thank you very much. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga.
Jam, go, microphone, okay. Namo Vishnu Bhattaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhuttate Bhakti Bhakti Vedanta Nandramani stay. Shadows with TJ, go around him a child. Hey, say shot, Junior Valley. Watch the child is a charity. Jaya Sri Krishna Jai Jana Ramana Jana Jidwaita Radha Shiva Sadi Nora to Brenda Krishna Sri Krishna Chaitanya Ramana Jana Jitwaita Shiva Sadi Nora Durinda Sri Krishna Nilana Ramana Jana Jitwaita Shiva Sadi Nora Brenda Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Uday, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Kore Krishna Krishna Kore Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hey. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Paravitacharya.
Such as Shema, divine grace. Avaya Jagannath Bhaktivedanta Goswami. Srila Prabhupada. Son, founder Acharya. Srila Prabhupada.
It's going to be a beautiful day for Harinam Sankirtan today. Please come 4 o'clock at 4 o'clock this afternoon, 4 to 6 in Chapel Hill. We'll be at the post office on Franklin Street. Chaitodarpanam Bharjanam Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvapanam Shreya Kairavya Chandrika Vitaranam. Love the color combination. Beautiful. Wow.
Moving in the fall.
Yeah. Adinam Pranamrita Swaranam Sarvatma Snapanam Harvijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis Tatrapita Niyamita Smarane Nakala Etadrishita Vakripa Bhagavan Mamapi Durdaiva Midrishami Hajjani Nanuraga Trianadapi Sunichena Tarorapi Suhishuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari Nadaram Najanam Nasundarim Kavitam Vajagadisha Kamae Mama Janmani Janmani Ishvare Bhavatad Bhakti Rohitaki Twai Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitam Mam Vishame Bhavam Buddha Kribayata Vapada Pankaja Stita Duli Sajashim Vachintaya Nayanam Gadarishu Daraya Vadanam Gad Gadarudaya Gira Pulakarnishitam Vapukada Tavanamagrahane Bhavishyati Yugayatam Namishena Chakshusha Pravashayatam Shunayatam Jagatsarvam Govindam Virahiname Ashlishavapadamridamanastumam Adarshanam Marmahata Karotuva Yatatava Vidadatulam Mat Prananatastusa Eva Napara. Victory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life, of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. Oh, my Lord, congregational chanting of your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you've invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. Oh, my Lord, out of kindness you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw on the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service birth after birth. O Son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor, yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet. Oh, my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up, and when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name? Oh, Govinda, feeling your separation, I am considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I am feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and he remains so. Even if he handles me roughly by his embrace or makes me brokenhearted by not being present before me, he is completely free to do anything and everything, for he's always my worshipable Lord unconditionally.
Shikshashtika ki jai. So Leela Shakti dressed the deities today, and the deities are definitely manifesting their Shakti. Says she dressed it. And just amazing dressing.